All right, show me the money. NFL picks for week 10 on the podcast. Joining me today to get some picks in here. Just the third Jet fan managed to track down this season to be on the podcast to do these picks. Nick DeLesio's with us. Nick, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I think there's probably more Jet fans. They just don't want to admit it this year. So I'll admit it out loud. I'm a Jets fan, and yeah, we're having a good year.
Yeah, I talked about this off the air with people like that. Like, I seem to have like endless amounts of Giant fans who want to do this. And like the Jet fans, it's like pulling teeth to try and find them.
Yeah, well, I think Giants fans are just a little bit more excited because like yeah, sure, their season's not going great, but there's a lot of like young potential there. And for us, it kind of just feels like business as usual.
Yeah, another dreadful start, missing the playoffs again. But I mean, I mentioned this last week. I give the Jets credit for this. They gave us 2 weeks to enjoy a win by beating the Bengals before the bye. So like that was probably one of the most shocking results of the season for me.
Yeah, and it's funny too because so I was helping my cousin with her fantasy team. And I was just like, oh, just pick whatever defense the Jets are playing. That's gonna be fine. And the one week she did that was the week that the Jets offense actually did good. So she's not very happy with me right now. But yeah, it was good to see a win, but like I'm almost kind of like I would almost rather see them lose at this point. But like I mean a win's a win. You want to see it, so I'll take it.
I think for the guys in the room that really needed that win very badly, there's been a lot of negative energy swirling around that building here, and just like get the one, and especially in the light of like Nick Bangle passing the morning of the game, I feel like definitely there's a lot of energy in that room. Like was like sort of like karmically lifted when they won that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you want to see this team do well. Like, as much as people are like, "Oh, let's tank and get a better draft pick." Like, you want this core to do well, and you could build off of it. That would be ideal. So maybe this is a shot in the arm that they need. Who knows?
Yeah, I will say to all the tankers out there who are hoping to see Fernando Mendoza as a Jet and like lock up the number one pick, I don't know if that's going to happen because if you look at the back half of their schedule,
Um, I haven't looked at it, no, but I'm assuming you're implying that it's not going to be great, or what is it? The opposite of that?
that there are games that they can win here. I mean, obviously they got the Browns on Sunday. They play the Saints in New Orleans. They got the Dolphins coming up here. They got the Falcons who look like those are coming to in the up north in the cold in December here. Like, I think there's a chance the Jets end up with 4 wins this season. Like that's probably takes you out of the number one pick.
Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking at the start of the season, just looking at the schedule before everything hit the fan, I was like, we were thinking this could be like a 7-win team potentially. So if they kind of get it together, if Aaron Glenn can get it together, then like, yeah, I don't see why not, why they can't win those games. It's not like the teams are amazing. They're playing teams that are not that much better on paper. So, but the Jets always find a way to screw it up. So who knows?
Yeah, they've lost games this year by 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 2 points, and 7 points. So like I feel like with some of the opponents coming, there's a 4 week stretch down the stretch. You look at here where they host Atlanta and Miami, two cold weather teams at the end of November, early December. Then they go to Jacksonville and New Orleans here. Like I'm not am I crazy to think that they could go 2-2 in this stretch, maybe 3-1?
Yes. Yes, you are because you're talking about the Jets. I think the thing that I want to see the most is like I just want to see I just want to see our head coach like not make mistakes, and I want to see the players get held accountable. Even if we lose out, even if we win, like you want to see the coach do better, and like you're not crazy because they should be winnable games, but you are crazy because it's the Jets.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I do think like they will win, and the law of the Jets, they will do just enough to screw up their draft position.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. That's what always happens.
Yeah, speaking of opportunity to screw up the draft position here, they're off the bye. They have the Browns coming in here, and the Browns are a bad football team. They have a great defense. They have a rookie quarterback with Dylan Gabriel under center. Who knows? We'll see Shedeur Sanders at some point, but the Jets are favored in this game, Nick, by 2.5 points. I think this is the second time this year they've been favored in a game. So, like, do you think this could be a spot here where they actually give us a winning streak and make us go 3 weeks without losing a football game?
I feel like this should be a winnable game, but saying that out loud makes me feel nervous
Yeah.
because they should be able to win this game. I don't, but I guess that really depends on if the defense decides to show up and if the coaching does the right thing.
Yeah, I will point out here, if you're looking at this game at an angle here, I would not touch the number because this is very much a toss-up game. Here's the Brown defense will travel well, and they got embarrassed last week, so I think they will look to improve here. The over-under of 37.5 feels like right to play the under here because this feels like this game is like 13-10 written all over it.
Yeah, well, I was looking at all the over-unders when I was looking at my picks, and I was like, oh, this is the lowest scoring over-under. So I'm like, I feel like that would be easy to make you be like, whoa, it's so low, bet the over. But I don't trust either of these offenses to do much. So I think I agree with you. I think I would take the under on that one.
Yeah, so that's our Jet Brown betting input here because neither of us touched the game this week. So like, if we are making a play, we recommend the under.
I thought about it. I really thought about it. I was like, Jets two in a row, but no, I didn't touch it.
Yeah, it's a bold strategy to try and do that, but we'll go to the pick. The reason why you're here. One of our fantasy football league mates, Dan DiMartini, came by, and it was not a very successful week for Dan because he ended up going 0-3 on the week. He had the Patriots laying 5.5 against the Falcons. That game should have been a tie game on overtime if their kicker made an extra point. He had his Colts laying 2.5 to put their worst game of the season in Pittsburgh and lost out there. Jaguars -3.5. I asked him when he made that pick, what are you doing? Like, I want no part of this game. And then they won by one in overtime. So 0-3 for Dan.
Mm. Yeah, he made the mistake of picking the team that he's like his favorite team. So
Oh, his favorite team was 7-1. It's not like us
yeah,
favorite team.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know about the Jaguars one either. But that's the thing. Like sometimes these picks, like you don't really have to have any logic. You can just pick it and it works.
Yes, you went 0-3, 11-16 in the year for the challenge. I went 2-1 last week. Stuck with the big numbers. I laid the 13.5 with the Rams. That game was basically over by halftime. Seahawks laying 3.5. They blew the Commanders out, basically ended their season when Jaden Daniels got hurt. Cowboys -2.5. I made that pick assuming Kyler Murray back in. Jacoby Brissett was starting. I was like, oh boy, this is in trouble for me. They ended up losing the game, like outright.
Yeah.
So 2-1 for me last week. So that's not bad.
No, and your record on the season is still pretty good.
Yeah, 15-12. I've been slightly positive most of the way. I have a couple of dud weeks in there, but like most are, I mean, like 2-1 is basically my average.
Yeah, that's not bad.
All right, so let's go ahead now. We'll go to the picks. As the guest, you can go first. So where are you going with pick number one?
Sure. So I'm gonna take for my first pick, I'm gonna take Tampa Bay at home against New England. I know New England's 5-0 on the road right now, and I don't think they're going to be able to keep that going.
Yeah.
I think eventually it's got to give, and I think I like Tampa Bay at home against them this week.
Yeah, they're laying 2.5 in that game. I like this spot as well because Tampa's a little underrated. They do have like a lot of talent here, and New England's won a lot of games in a row, and like a lot of them have been against bad competition. Going on the road is a good team. That's a spot where I want to see Drake May do it, and I think it's a good spot to back the home team here.
Yep, yep, that's my thoughts too.
All right, so let's pick one. Are you going to pick two?
Pick two, I'm going Carolina at home against the Saints. I like the way Carolina's been playing lately. They're coming off of a upset in Green Bay. So I think they're a pretty good young team. I don't think they're amazing, but I think at home against the Saints, off the momentum of Green Bay, I think that's doable.
The 5.5 does not scare you.
No, I think I don't think the Saints are very good. So like and I think Carolina's got a lot of momentum right now. So I that's my slightly riskier pick.
Well, to be fair, picking against I think this is a year where I said last week, I don't know exactly who the good teams are, but I know who the bad teams are. The Saints are one of the bad teams. So I think picking against them is a good spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
All right, we're going with pick three.
All right, so this is going to be a crazy one. And but I see a big number and my brain is like, "Oh, are they going to cover that?" So I'm actually going to go with the Raiders, but like they're going to lose, but I think they're going to lose by like 9. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think Denver's such a good team, but like they don't scare me. So I think the Raiders could make it kind of close, but not win. I think they're going to lose still.
Yeah, it's the Thursday night game. First time this year somebody's picked the Thursday night game. The Raiders getting 9.5 in Denver. That's a massive number for the Raiders here to cover, to
Yeah,
play with.
yeah, and like I said, I think Denver's an incredible team, but like I don't for some reason they just don't scare me, you know? So that's why I think it's gonna be a little bit closer, but they'll still get the win.
I think this is a spot I actually like this pick a lot more looking at Denver's schedule coming up here. They got a big game with the Chiefs 10 days after this one, and they had just gotten a big emotional road win against the Texans. So this could be a look ahead spot where this is a lot closer than it should be.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm hoping for.
All right, so your picks are on the board now. I'm going to go ahead and start mine off here. Pick number one. They rewarded me last week with a big number. I'm going back to the Seahawks again, laying 6.5 against the Cardinals here. I know Arizona looked impressive last night against the Cowboys. I know Jacoby Brissett's probably going to keep starting because they are playing better with him than they did with Kyler Murray. But Seattle, I feel like, is a very good team. It's not getting enough respect nationally. Sam Darnold, once he took a few stops, is now settling as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They're tied for the division lead with the Rams at 6-2. I love their spot here. They are coming home here, and Arizona short week road trip after a big win like that. Prime letdown spot. So give me Seattle here, pick one.
Yeah, I like that too. I think Arizona, Kyler Murray's not playing again, right? You said Jacoby Brissett's going to play again.
I assume that they would let Brissett keep playing because the coach needs to win, and they play much better with him than they have with Kyler.
Yeah, I think I that was one of the ones I was looking at also. So yeah, I think I like that pick.
That's pick one. Pick two. I'm laying the big one again, laying 8.5 of the Lions against Washington here. Jaden Daniels likely done for the season with the elbow injury. It's been a lost year for Washington. So many injuries, a lot of guys hurt. They're going to take a step back here. Detroit, remember, got knocked out by Washington in the playoffs. I think that's going to be a huge motivating factor for them in this game here. I think this is a spot where the Commanders are dead in the water, and the Lions are coming off that loss last week in Minnesota. They take out their frustration on them, and I think they run the score up here. So I will play the 8.5 with the Lions.
That was almost my pick too. I was actually mid texting you. I the first thing I said was I think the Lions will lay a beat down on Washington, and then I deleted it and I was like, let me do some other picks. So let me think about this a little bit more. So I almost did that pick as well.
All right, that's pick two. Pick three. I'm going to go to Sunday Night Football here. I'm going to take the Steelers getting 3.5 on the road against the Chargers in LA. This is a spot here where, number one, we know that building in LA is always like a visitor haven when the Chargers are playing. So that building's going to be like 80% Steeler fan on Sunday nights. That's like a Steeler home game on the road. LA's offensive line is also very banged up. They lost both tackles of the season to injury here. Kai Becton barely plays. They have lost a lot of people on this group. I think there's a point you're looking at. Are there too many injuries for us to overcome here? In Pittsburgh, the defense shows something against the Colts last week. They really made Daniel Jones' life miserable. He was pressured 18 times, sacked 5, turned it over 5 times. I think they're going to unleash hell on Justin Herbert here. I think the Steelers go in and get a big win here. So I'll take the 3.5 points with the Steelers, my pick of the week.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. Because Justin Herbert, great quarterback, but is I feel like his whole career so far, he hasn't been like good enough to take them over the edge. He's just good, like really good. So I don't, yeah, with all the injuries and stuff that you mentioned, yeah, I don't hate that pick either.
All right. So to reset the picks for the week here, we have a very interesting week 10 as we look at the board one more time. Nick starts us off on Thursday. This pot's going on Wednesday. To get the Thursday night game here. Raiders getting 9.5 against the Broncos in Denver. The Bucks laying 2.5 at home against the Patriots. And the Panthers laying 5.5 against the Tyler Shuck-led Saints. My picks, the Lions laying 8.5 in revenge, get revenge against the Commanders. The Seahawks laying 6.5 at home against the Cardinals. Pittsburgh, the only dog of the week for me, getting 3.5 points in LA on Sunday Football against the Chargers. Those are your picks for week 10 on the podcast. And next week on the podcast, we have a first time guest doing the picks next week.
Oh,
Yes.
that's interesting.
Yes. One of our teammates on the fall softball team, Brendan Aher, make his podcast debut. Talk,
Oh, cool. Yeah,
talking
I'll definitely check that out.
He's a Giants guy, so we'll get some perspective on the Giants situation here as they try and get a win in Chicago this week against the Bears.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that. I'm curious what his picks are going to be.
Yeah, no, he's very interested in the Giant coaching situation as well because it feels like they are just biding their time until Brian Dable gets fired.
Yep, I've heard him rant about it. So I want to hear his thoughts on officially on the record.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there, Nick. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it. I know you're a big Twitch guy. If you want to keep with the Twitch stuff, how can I do that?
Yeah, sure. So go to twitch.tv/the recovery room. This is a sports podcast. I do mostly like video game playthroughs and stuff. So if you're interested in checking that out, yeah, twitch.tv/the recovery room.